Hello friends, how's it going? I'm AleXarcs and today I'm bringing you some more Destiny, and in today's video I'm going to be showing off the exotic heavy machine gun Thunderlord. Now this thing, to be fair, is a bit of a beast. If I can just get to a sensible position to take all these guys out, you can see it's a pretty heavy hitting machine gun, and that's going to be... oh, let me reload. I want to show off this gun's perks. Hopefully they'll work. If I get... oh no, killed him too quickly. That's the bane of this gun. I suppose I'm not in the mission area. Let me just activate this. Okay, Ghost. Have it. Have it. So let me find a semi-quiet spot to show off this gun.
I got it. It's on the other side.
Down here should be good. Down here. This looks like a nice quiet spot.
If they didn't already know we're coming, they do now.
So here it is. I was just waiting for the Ghost to stop talking. Here it is. This is Thunderlord, the exotic heavy machine gun. And as you can see, it is an arc damage weapon, so no surprises there. And we can also see the stats. The rate of fire is... well, to be honest, it's not the highest of any MG. We can see this Darius C thing, that's got maxed out rate of fire, so we're not quite maxed. We're, you know, like 3/4 of the way there, so we're one of the slower firing machine guns. However, we do have quite a high impact stat to kind of match that, so we're a slow firing, heavy hitting machine gun, and we've got fairly average stats for range, stability, and reload. Now, the key feature of this gun is that top perk at the bottom, you can see there, and that is this weapon fires faster and more accurately the longer the trigger is held. And we also have kills with this weapon increase reload speed for a short time. However, the main one is this lightning rounds perk. You can see I have Field Scout on, and that kind of works in tandem with the lightning rounds ability. Because the longer we hold the trigger down, we fire faster and more accurately. The more rounds we have, the bigger the clip size, the longer we can hold that trigger down, and the more of those benefits we can get. So that's really how this machine gun plays out. It's not one for picking shots and just killing enemies here and enemies there. It is a machine gun for running into big fights and just holding that trigger down and just endlessly shooting and hitting and killing the opposing team guys, whoever they may be. I don't know what he was doing, he was showing off. But you can see here, like, this thing just absolutely tears. And I mean, it's going to be quite hard for me to actually show off this weapon's special ability, purely because, you know, things die too quickly to this gun. Really, you need to be kind of using this more against kind of big, heavy-hitting enemies that have quite strong, tough shields, because this thing, it really starts packing a punch and shooting really fast towards the end of the clip. So hopefully, now we're in the little level 30 darkness zone, we should be able to get some tough enemies and really start rocking with this gun. But like I said, this is going to be one that you're going to want to use more for big groups of enemies. You're not going to want to kind of use it for, you know, little groups of guys like this. You're going to want to use it, you know, against bosses, your yellow majors and ultras, just all the big kind of heavy-hitting enemies. This is where this gun's going to really kind of give you the benefit of being in your arsenal. So hopefully here, if I can get up here quick enough, I can just lay down the law and just start shooting. So you can see here, we're picking up speed quite a lot now towards the end of the mag, and it's almost pinpoint. And we're just able to absolutely decimate medium-sized groups of enemies just like that. Now, obviously, they weren't the toughest of enemies, but you get the idea. If you can just basically sit, lock on to an enemy and just hold down the trigger, you can fire so many bullets so quick, you can do a lot of damage and down, you know, medium groups without any kind of issue. Had to pop a safety bubble there. Oh, heavy. I'm going to need that just for this occasion right here. Where has he gone? He's in my bubble. This is not fair. That's cheating. Let's do this. Let's absolutely destroy this guy. And that's basically what Thunderlord is built for. Absolutely just destroyed the Yellow Colossus. Now I can tell you with most other exotics it would probably take you a little bit of skill and time to put him down still, but Thunderlord, it's just really good against your big tough enemies because you're getting that increased fire rate and stability the longer you hold the trigger. And it's a fairly heavy impacting machine gun as well, so the damage drop off that you get against yellow enemies, it's really kind of negligible. I think I was still getting about 400 for a critical, and this weapon isn't even fully upgraded yet. And that's why I like Thunderlord. For me personally, I don't think it is still a raid gun. You know, it is kind of more of a one-off kind of situational kind of weapon. You know, I think you'd still see more benefits using something like Icebreaker or Galahorn in your raids. But that's not to say it won't be helpful in the future. Remember, we've still got the House of Wolves DLC coming out in a month or two's time, and that's going to involve a lot of fallen captains, and they might all be shielded with arc shields. So this thing could come into play quite heavily there. This thing's also an absolute gem for your arc damage nightfalls. So, you know, whenever there is an arc damage nightfall, it'll either be this gun or Patience in Time that I pull out, because this thing is an absolute powerhouse at the best of times, or at the worst of times. But with that added 3 times multiplier on damage, you're going to take out enemies so quickly, it's going to be just ridiculous. So yeah, not really a raid weapon per se, but it's definitely for those arc damage nightfalls and your weeklies and so on. So that's the PvE part covered. PvP wise, I wouldn't suggest. I've not actually personally used it, but I've never been killed by Thunderlord, which is hint enough that, you know, even in PvE you can see the kick is pretty heavy at this point. So using it in a PvP situation where, you know, your engagements are going to be long range, you're probably not going to hit most of those bullets, and because you're quite slow firing, although you're heavy hitting, you're still slow firing, and if you can't make every single shot count and hit their target, then you really are missing out. So in PvP, there are definitely other guns that are still more preferable in that exotic slot. You know, you've got your usual ones, Suros and Vex Mythoclast. Sorry, I kind of hiccuped. I'm just trying to wait for the cooldown to happen on the synth, because I'm not really showing it off anymore. But yeah, it's still, I wouldn't say it's the most helpful gun in PvP, but if it's your only exotic, then, you know, it's definitely doing you no harm. You've just got to kind of watch the kick. You are going to be doing a lot of damage, but you need to make those bullet hits count. 6 seconds, that's really just no time at all. Come on. Yeah. I suppose another overarching point that covers both PvP and PvE is the fact it is a heavy weapon, and, you know, you're not going to be able to use this thing all the time. It is going to be a situational specialist piece of kit that you pull out in those tight situations, but hey ho, that's the same with any heavy weapon in this game. Now, with regards to where you can get this gun, well, Xur can sell it. You can also get it dropped from any of your raids or your nightfalls as well, and you can maybe even get it from a legendary engram if you're that kind of lucky person, or you can get it from your daily, or even the Crucible if you're really lucky. I have seen exotics drop left, right and centre in there sometimes, so, you know, just play the game and you're bound to pick it up at some point somewhere. Your best bet is probably Xur at some point, because I think he sold this thing a couple of times now. But yeah, Thunderlord, it is definitely one worth picking it up. I love it. To be honest, I don't use it a lot, but the times I do use it, I really do enjoy using it. And I kind of don't want to overuse it. I think it is a specialist weapon. The arc damage modifier does make it an absolute gem for those nightfalls where arc damage is up. It is a heavy hitting machine gun, but, you know, it's not to say that it's the only MG out there. For me, a more than adequate replacement is against all odds, and this is just a legendary, and you can see it's got even more impact. I've got Rodeo on that as well, which severely increases the weapon's recoil. So at the end of the day, the increased rate of fire is an ace benefit to have on Thunderlord, but it doesn't make it the best in all situations. Once again, you still have to be, you'd have to be fighting specific enemies that have arc shields for this to be your, well, your heavy weapon machine gun of choice. But one last little rally, I'll show you how it fires against Primus Shawl, and you can see there, really in our stride. You still have to fight that kick, but it's a lot easier because you're getting that increased stability. Anyway guys, I have been AleXarcs talking you through Thunderlord, the exotic heavy arc machine gun. It is definitely worth picking up. It is an absolute beast. Like I said, probably wouldn't use it in the Crucible, maybe wouldn't use it in my raids, but definitely those nightfalls and weeklies, the arc damage, it is an absolute beast. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed and found this video helpful. I've been AleXarcs, telling you and discussing about the exotic heavy Thunderlord. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!